It is practically impossible to manifest, attract the things that you want into your life, or to live the life that you deserve without applying or actually knowing the secrets of self-concept and how to change it. Self-image is the sense of self that you hold, the way you see yourself. It's something subconscious. It is not obvious. It's something that you can notice. Okay, there's a certain image that you hold of yourself, and you operate from that image. That image holds patterns of behavior, thinking, also perceiving oneself and the reality. That's where all your decisions and behaviors come from. And if you know that decisions and behaviors, they create your reality, okay? Meaning the energy behind it. But the kind of action you take also tells us what kind of possibility you're aligned with. You can literally become so powerful because you are, but you cannot be powerful unless there's a recognition of your abilities, if that makes sense. Because this society, it teaches us to conform, okay? And this is something that we unconsciously do. We conform instead of try to be different, try to release a higher self. But we are going against our soul, our dreams, just to conform because we think we might offend other people. So that's the sense of self, okay? Depending on what life situations you had, what traumas, what kind of things, people you met in your life will tell us about your self-concept or the sense of self. You can easily interfere with that. But the first step is to become aware of image, the way you perceive yourself. How do you perceive yourself, okay? Because the way you perceive yourself, you may not be even bothered thinking about this, but there is a way you filter your reality, and this reality is filtered because you view yourself a certain way. Hence why it creates that version, manifests that version of you when dealing with situations and circumstances. And then that version usually acts from a certain possibility, or in other words, energies, right? Energetic frequency. And we can see whether it's a destructive or not, or creative. Now, a lot of us are just in the dark about this, and we just operate from the worst egoic sense of self, without realizing our highest potential. Upon understanding how this works, you can literally change your self-concept anytime so that you can meet the challenges of your life. Because see, your decisions and your behaviors, the way you deal with life situations that are outside of your control are, also impacting your future. So even though you may not be able to directly control your future through your responses, through not repeating your patterns, but actually breaking a pattern, creating a new image of oneself and operating from it until you start seeing results, not being tempted by your old way of being, relating to the world, especially if you've identified that that's the problem. So your sense of self is created based on your life experiences. And most of us, and that's how the mind works, likes to attach to the negative failures, that you've experienced in the past and define oneself as such. And guess what? When challenging situation comes, that's immediately how your ego views you. And it already determines that you are incapable of dealing with this or that, and hence why it just falls back into the old pattern. There's no even a second for it snap out of it, because you are so used to being this way. You will have to identify the areas of life where it manifests the most so that you can break this pattern. You have to be aware of also your behaviors and dig deeper into the beliefs. What beliefs are you driven by? What do you believe? Because behaviors come from something that you've seen to be true for you, or you've seen evidence of something so many times that now it's a reality, even though for other people it may not be a reality, okay? But your sense of self is this way, conditioned this way, if that makes any sense. So identify the sense of self that you have, the way you view yourself, and interfere. Do you view yourself as someone who is incapable of, someone who needs attention, who is codependent? I used to view myself like that, and it's weird to even say it, but that's how our minds are. It's just crazy. There's many layers and many little selves, okay? So you need to identify the self that you're operating from, because they are disguising, the many selves. They're disguising the ego, it's different versions of you that were conditioned, developed from life experiences. So since we love predictability, we usually fall back to our habitual way of responding, because remember, when we were born, we were not aware of how to conduct a human interaction. We didn't know how to relate to other people, right? Through seeing other parents relate the way they related to other people of different professions, different whatever. We learned those behaviors. It taught us something, how to relate to other people. Unless we interfere with what we've been conditioned by, it's going to run our life. Okay, so identify the sense of self that you have. How do you view yourself? Because the way you view yourself on a deeper level is how other people perceive you. Okay, and if other people are not showing up for you the way you want them to, is probably because the way you view yourself. You have to like really like condition yourself into thinking that you are that shit, and whatever you want, like truly want yourself to be, and based on the reality that you want to attract. And also, like, there's just so many things I can talk about, but this is very important. Like, to manifest, there should be a connection between material and spiritual. It's not that we are doing these things just to get things outside of ourselves. Okay, no, we're getting things because we are co-creating. We know our power. We're here to co-create. We're not here to just like slip on our abilities, what we are created to do. We are here to evolve, and we need to use our power, the power of our consciousness, right? But at the same time, we should never become overly materialistic, because whenever you distort a balance according to the laws of nature teach you a lot about manifestation. And if you understand how the nature works and adopt some of the qualities that the nature has, whenever hurricanes and things happen, right, you will literally be invincible in your life. Nature is neutral. No matter what kind of weather or what happens, nature does not get pissed off or just sits it out, let it go, right? So that's what you need to learn to do. The faster you let go of small things that annoy you throughout the day, the faster you will get to the end goal. Follow me if you like my content.